military community?
Yes, we have a lot of flights that go all around us here. We hear them often in our newsroom. Looking at our clear skies today, earlier there was a moon that was shining, big bright moon. It looks like that has since set. Sunrise 6:14 this morning. We are clear conditions all across San Diego. So that's why you're waking up to another cold morning. But the storm that came through earlier this week, this is where it is now. It swept across Texas, some dangerous tornadoes through the south. And now you'll notice this line right here. This right here where tornado watches and warnings are now in place. Concerns of flooding. All of this will then turn into snow as it moves over into the northeast. So now all of these other people are in the path of the same storm system that we saw. Flash flood warnings, tornado watches in effect this morning, winter storm warnings as well to much of the northeast. But let's bring you back here at home where we have a frost advisory. That's what you're waking up to this morning. A little chill in the air again. This will last until 8 a.m. Clear conditions. Now this morning is not as cold as yesterday. Yesterday some of these spots were in the 20s. You're at freezing in Ramona, slightly above for Alpine, Poway, 36. I know that's still very cold, 36 in Escondido. Around the coast, low 40s to mid 40s, 45 downtown San Diego. So when you compare it to 24 hours ago, we are about 3, 4, even 5 degrees warmer, as you'll notice. In the mountains and deserts, though, it is colder. So Borrego, Ocotillo, yeah, chill in the air. Your afternoon will be very similar to yesterday. Plenty of sunshine, not expecting any clouds really even to come into the mix. Upper 50s for today. Imperial Beach and Chula Vista 59, National City 60, La Mesa 60, Santee and El Cajon 64 degrees. So upper 50s to low 60s for the most part all across San Diego from the coast to inland valleys. Once that frost advisory expires, you'll notice the sun will probably feel nice if you're in the sunny spots. It's standing in the shade. I noticed yesterday that really feels cold. 50 in Julian, 48 Mount Laguna. We might see slight snow melt from the piles of snow that we've received. But the bigger picture does show very, very weak ridging. I hesitate to even call it that, but there is a system way up north. This is going to change our weather pattern here for the weekend. So it's not necessarily going to bring us measurable rain or anything like that. Just expect a cloudier start to your Saturday and Sunday. We'll get more into the details of your coming weekend here in just a few minutes. Eric. I mean, we saw 3-4 feet added on to what we've already seen was a very generous winter, as you know. So yeah, some people stuck still, unfortunately, across Southern California and our mountain regions. Right now, looking from San Miguel, as we look across San Diego here this morning, very clear. You'll notice the twinkling lights across our city, no clouds in the way. It's going to be a pretty nice looking start to our day. And overall, here's a look from Mount Soledad, Mission Bay right there. It's a frosty start, slightly warmer later today. Few degrees, but 1 or 2 degrees maybe. We're still below average. The marine layer will be back this weekend. That contributes to keeping things somewhat cool, cloudy, even slight drizzle each day, but not a rainmaker. Just that marine layer drizzle that we are used to in San Diego. We will be warming up. I'm excited to see this by the end of next week. We're talking not until Thursday, Friday, but temperatures will finally get to be above average. So here's a look right now across San Diego. As you'll notice, no clouds popping up over San Diego. We have plenty of activity across much of the south, as I talked about earlier, with the tornado watches, flash flood warnings, winter storm warnings. Unfortunately, very dangerous conditions, this line of storms that are really causing the twisters across much of the south into Tennessee, places like that. And we right now, are dealing with the aftermath of the storms that came through. A lot of people still cleaning up after those trees and tree branches came down. We have a frost advisory this morning, but at least I can say the next several days will be pretty calm. It just dropped a degree in Ramona, 31 degrees for you, 36 in Poway, 39 in El Cajon, La Mesa, you're at 42, Chula Vista at 41, 45 downtown San Diego. So we are a little bit warmer this morning, 1 to 5 degrees warmer in places like Del Mar. The desert are a little bit cooler. And then for your afternoon, 60 in Coronado, same with downtown, La Mesa 60, Santee and El Cajon 64 degrees. La Jolla will be at 55. Expect the sun to shine across San Diego today, so it's looking like a nice Friday. By the end of tonight, early tomorrow morning, that's when the onshore flow, the marine layer clouds may come back into the mix. And here's why. There's another storm that's about to bring rain and snow to northern, even into central California. For us, you'll notice we just get the very tail end in the form of cloud coverage. So this low right here, unfortunately, for all of the people that are stuck in the snow, well, it's bringing more more Saturday into Sunday. Beyond that, it looks like it's still going to hang around even into Monday for Northern California. That's the Sierra Nevada mountain range that's going to get dumped on. The rain is not going to let up. We have this very weak ridge that'll build. So this is why I'm looking forward to Thursday and Friday, because that will bring us sunshine, warmer weather, as you'll notice. So here's a look at that 8-day. So you can plan your weekend. Yeah, a little bit of clouds in the mix, but hopefully it won't be too disruptive. You can still do what you want to do outdoor. You'll just want to bring a jacket with you. Temperatures are not changing much all the way through Tuesday. Then it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where that pretty weak ridge will bring us to above average for a change. We have not said that in a very long time. Eric, I'll send it back to you. Here at this monitor, this is the updated U.S. drought monitor. We get these updates every Thursday morning, and you'll notice much of the state here in white now. So that we have not seen. That includes part of the Sierra Nevada mountain range and the foothills, mainly because of all the snowpack we've seen. And then right here along the coast, so LA County up into places like Monterey Bay, now out of the drought. The other areas where you'll notice the yellow and the brown, abnormally dry to moderately dry. But I will say, not too long ago, just a few months back, we had extreme and exceptional drought conditions. You saw more red, more of that. Step out of the way, and you'll notice obviously the whites that we showed you just moments ago, the grays here on this version of it, but also the yellows and the lighter browns just show that we're out of that extreme exceptional range. For San Diego, we are still dry to moderate. We have been this way for, I will say, about a year or more. I've seen this color scheme for us for many, many months back to back. No matter how much rain we've received, we have stayed in this dry to moderate range. We never got to the severe or extreme, at least not within the past several months. So at least we've stayed consistent in that sense. But for the state, obviously we are seeing a lot of improvement. As we look across our skies this morning, let's talk about your weather headlines here. A frosty start for some of you, inland valleys, slightly warmer later on today, just by a couple degrees, you'll notice that. And then the marine layer will be back for this weekend. I expect it to bring in cloud coverage through half of the day Saturday, mainly into Sunday, Monday. Onshore flow comes back, so you might notice a little bit of a drizzle too with that, but not a rainmaker. We're not seeing a storm heading into Southern California for a change. We will be warming up, in fact. This was very exciting to see for end of next week. So we still have, 7 to 8 days to go for that, but still, it's at least a little bit of improvement. Temperature-wise right now, 35 in Escondido, 32 Ramona, 36 Alpine, 39 in El Cajon, 42 La Mesa, same with Chula Vista. Downtown San Diego, you're at 44 degrees. And then look at that 24-hour temperature change. Temperatures did drop in 24 hours for our deserts, but for mainly west of the mountains, you're warmer, slightly warmer by a few degrees, as you'll notice. And then here's your afternoon. Sunshine across San Diego on this Friday. 59 in Chula Vista, 60 La Mesa, 64 in Santee and El Cajon. So a lot of 60s, as you see right there on the money, with 60 degrees in Vista, San Marcos, Fallbrook, 57 Carlsbad. That still may seem fairly chilly for a lot of you, especially if you're standing in the shade. I noticed that yesterday, even with a light sweater on, you should hopefully be comfortable. But I will say, layer up because the morning is so chilly and the afternoon will look like this. Coming up here, we'll talk more about your weekend forecast and that warm up that we're watching for in just a few minutes. Yeah, safe and healthy, adorable little girl. Let's show you what's going on with that storm system. Eric just showed us some video. You'll notice right here that line of severe weather. So this right here, it may not look like much, but this line is something certainly that can create a lot of those twisters. It's unstable air. You saw that hail coming down, the strong winds, all because of that system we had in California moving across the south. And here it is. It's going to head right into the northeast as well. So they're going to finally start to see snow in some areas that have really been low on snow this year. But unfortunately, until then, flash flood warnings, tornado watches are all in effect. So you'll notice that sweeps through Louisiana. Obviously, it looks like parts of Louisiana, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama certainly dealing with it. Same with Missouri. So the Midwest, the Northeast will get the snow. Then for us here on the West Coast, we are left with calmer conditions, at least for now. We have that frost advisory mainly because it's so clear outside. We don't have any clouds in the way. We don't have much of a wind event either. So it allows that cold air to settle in, which is why some temperatures, low as 30 degrees, can form frost. That's what happens. And frost could kill some sensitive plants. So you'll want to bring those inside if you haven't done that yet. Probably a good idea to do so. It is 44 degrees for downtown San Diego. That's actually one of our warmer spots right there along the coast. Winds are calm. 36 in Poway, 31 in Ramona. So you'll notice that frost advisory mainly for inland valleys right around the foothills. So these are the areas where it could get pretty cold for you. 35 in Alpine, 30 degrees in Campo right now, but you'll notice along the coast in the 40s for the most part, although Encinitas, wow, you're chilling today at 39 degrees. Let's show you the next 12 hours so you can see where your temperatures are going and the sun that will be shining. So hopefully this is a bit of good news for you on this Friday. 60 degrees by 1 o'clock this afternoon. And for the coast, 55, inland 53, 37 in the mountains, deserts 58 overall. I would say upper 50s, low 60s actually is where we're going to be today. And our temperatures are not going to change very much at all for the next at least 5 days. Here's another storm system. This one, though, is going to impact northern and into central California, not bringing us rain, but you'll notice a little bit of light green right there. That's the marine layer. We will likely see that here Saturday, Sunday, Monday, maybe hanging on into Tuesday. Then after that, weak ridging forms. Look at this. Temperatures are going to warm up to the upper 60s. So we're going to go from the upper 50s this weekend along the coast, mid 50s for inland valleys, to then the warm up. Look at Friday. Whew, 73 degrees for inland valleys. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to see sunny and 70s again in San Diego. Our mountains are staying cold. If you want to go see that snow, it's still hanging on. Eric? The wind direction is changing. So right now, as you'll notice, satellite imagery showing it's very clear across our skies. When the sun rises here this morning, it's going to look really nice. But we do have that frost advisory, and it's mainly for inland valleys. So a few miles inland that you go west from the coastline, obviously, you'll notice some of that frost possibly on your windshield, on your plants, perhaps. So yeah, as temperatures drop to about 30 degrees, that's when we get that frost formation. We don't have much of a breeze to help mix the air. So that's part of the reason for this. Plants could die, unfortunately, in weather like this. So bring any plants that you can closer to your house, indoors if possible, or even put a blanket over them. We all like blankets on chilly mornings like this, don't we? 31 degrees in Ramona, 35 in Poway, same with Escondido. You're at 40 in Carlsbad, 44 in Carlsbad, 40 in Encinitas. Now you're out of the 30s there. You were down to 39 not too long ago. 41 degrees Chula Vista, downtown at 44, and it is a little warmer this morning than yesterday, 2 to 4 degrees warmer. So if nothing froze overnight last night, then you should be okay this morning. It's just 2 nights in a row of these pretty frigid conditions. Afternoon highs, upper 50s, low 60s. 60 degrees, Coronado, same with downtown and La Mesa. Not much major change going on. Again, the day will stay pretty mild. Sunshine, upper 50s to low 60s. Our coast and inland temperatures, you'll notice not a drastic difference depending on where you live. The mountains, of course, colder. 48 in Mount Laguna, 50 in Julian. The snow will stick around here. I know we've had quite a few inches, a couple feet, in fact, for Mount Laguna. That should last here through the weekend. Each night, temperatures have been below freezing where that kind of sticks. But during the day, obviously, you'll see a little more of that melt happening. So there's another system coming towards the Pacific Northwest and into Northern California. You'll notice noon Saturday. Look at that timestamp there. That's when we will start to see some of the marine layer clouds. So that's when we'll get cloudier, little drizzle in the air. The onshore flow picks up, all because of this. So yeah, your 8 days.
They're just standing there like, what is happening right now?
Confused. Where's the grass that we're used to? Why is it covered? I know, but it has caused some pretty good improvement for our drought monitor. So we get this update every Thursday morning, and you'll notice after this past week, especially these areas along the mountains, along the coast, we are now out of the drought. For San Diego, I'll zoom into our region, and you'll notice dry to moderate conditions for us here in our mountains. Still moderate, dry for west of the mountains, but still we have not seen major changes for the drought. This is their surface water levels for San Diego, even with all of the rain that we've had. So obviously you don't want to just sit in the shower for a long time to warm up, as Frankie and Eric were talking about. Let's show you what's going on across our skies this morning. No rain in sight, thankfully, getting a break from that, giving you you a chance to clean up after all the leaves and branches got strewn around the past few days. Very clear conditions, and we will see that sun shining throughout the day on this Friday. Clear skies on our satellite imagery, but let's take you where the storm is now. You'll notice here it is. This is the storm that brought us the heavy rain and mountain snow. Now, unfortunately, bringing a line of severe weather right there through much of the south into the Midwest now. Heavy rain expected to bring flooding, tornado watches as well across the south, and then winter storm warnings in places like New York. They have not had much snow this season, but they're about to get dumped on. Frost advisory for us this morning through 8 a.m. 31 degrees in Ramona, 35 in Poway. Some of these valley spots, you'll notice temperatures around 30, which is why that frost could form. Your daytime highs for today, if you're headed to the playground, upper 50s by the middle of the day, mid 50s by the afternoon. Hiking forecast 59 this afternoon. So that's all we're going to get to, but you'll notice sun shining across San Diego. 62 in Escondido, 60 Poway, 60 La Mesa. Here's what's coming. So there is an area of low pressure, this next storm system coming towards Northern California and the Pacific Northwest, bringing snow, some rain. For us in San Diego, we'll get the marine layer back. So your Saturday, Sunday, even Monday and Tuesday look partly cloudy. Temperatures are not going to change very much, staying in the 50s, but look beyond that. The sun's coming again. We'll have a weak ridging happening, warmer weather, the potential for sunshine and 70s. And yeah, I mean,
even as a pregnant woman, you're not into this?
No. I've never really craved chicken. That's kind of the problem.
Yeah.
But I like the syrup. Coming up here at 6 o'clock, some economists are calling it a rolling recession. What does this mean for all of us?
Also at 6 here, eating fast food to lose weight. A man is going viral for his McDonald's diet.
People who are stuck, obviously, we're hoping they get home quickly. Also, we want to talk about these recent storms and how it's impacted our drought. A positive shift as you'll look across the state of California, but experts say this U.S. drought monitor really only reflects surface water levels, so not deep under the surface. This is the U.S. drought monitor map. We get an updated version of this every Thursday morning, and it shows much of the state right now in the yellows and the oranges, the lighter browns too. So we're not seeing the red and the maroon. You may remember seeing these colors. Yeah, we had that pretty widespread across our state. Those would be the extreme exceptional drought conditions. We're out of that now. Areas like the Sierra Nevada mountains where you see all of this white and you see the coastline right here. Yeah, that shows that we are out of the drought in those regions as well. So northwest part of the state doing well. The coastline from Monterey to LA County also reporting no drought. This is all welcome news, but we're not in the clear. The map shows on the surface that we're good, but what's under will still take years of corrections. We look here, I do want to show you what's going on for San Diego. We know we've had a lot of rain in our region, right? As I zoom into this area, you'll notice we're still in that dry to moderate range. In San Diego for many, many months, we've stayed these colors in this same range. So I know it looks lush and green and beautiful, but obviously our water, the surface water, that's what's being measured. We still could use more in the state, spread out over time, not the fast amount of rain that we've seen, and see a lot of it running off. So unfortunately, much of it ends up right into the ocean. Right now this morning, no rain in sight. You'll notice very clear skies. San Miguel's view out west, I mean, that's the coastline right there. A pretty nice looking day today if you like the sun. We're going to get plenty of it. It also is why we're starting off frosty though. So because we had clear overnight conditions, our temperatures dropped pretty quickly. Frosty start for inland valleys, but this afternoon a little bit warmer than yesterday, closer to about 60 degrees. And then the marine layer returns for this weekend, Saturday into Sunday, Sunday into Monday. Onshore flow is back. So that means a slight drizzle expected, not a rainmaker. But Northern California, they're getting another storm this weekend. Next week here in San Diego, warming up to above average. You remember the sunshine and 70s that we're famous for? We're finally, hopefully going to get to that, but we still have to wait another week for it. So let's talk about the frost this morning. It's until 8 o'clock. That's when obviously the heat of the sun will help us out a little bit, but temperatures, especially for inland valleys, as low as 30 degrees could kill some sensitive plants. So a heads up for you. If you can, cover them up. bring them inside. 31 degrees in Ramona. That's one of the areas where you're likely seeing some frost. Poway at 35, 35 in Escondido. You'll notice it on the grass maybe, or your windshield wipers, and then, or your windshield, I should say. Along the coast, not as much. Low 40s for you. And then here's a look at the 24-hour temperature change. Most of us are just a few degrees warmer, although look at Fallbrook, a nice 7-degree warm up for you. In the upper 50s to low 60s, these are your afternoon highs for today. We'll talk more about that weekend forecast here in just a few minutes. Eric. Impacting now younger people, as Eric just said. So we're wearing blue. If you'd like to wear blue, go ahead, match us, match our blue skies and our beautiful blue coastline right there. We are going to see a lot of clear conditions out there today. This is the view from the Hotel Del. Now let's take you to the mountain view looking out towards the west. There's the beach right there. You can see the coast. You can see Sweetwater Reservoir. We are very clear this morning. No chance of fog in the way. No, the sun will be shining very nicely. So our satellite imagery showing that we don't even have any clouds creeping in, not yet. That's going to change for the weekend. Yeah, we are going to see a few more clouds coming in. Frost advisory this morning, though, because of how clear our conditions are overnight and this morning. Yeah, that frost is forming for some inland valley locations. You may need to spend a little extra time clearing that from your windshield, perhaps. A freeze warning right there in the heart of California where the farmers are. They've already been dealt with flooding, a lot of major weather issues for them this whole year, and now freezing conditions. So we know that can be troublesome for agriculture, for your plants as well. Bring them in or put a blanket over them. That might help them out a little bit. So as we look across from Mount Soledad towards Mission Bay, you see right there 44 degrees. If you're by the coast, it's a little bit warmer, a little more tolerable maybe, but inland 35 in Poway, same with Escondido, 31 in Ramona. You're one of our colder inland spots. That's where likely you'll see that frost the most. 36 in Alpine, 39 in El Cajon. Campo, actually you win at 29 degrees. And that means a lot of the mountain snow we've had, that's sticking around overnight. During the day, we are going to warm up a little bit. So through the mountains, Palomar, Julian, Mount Laguna, you'll start to see it dwindle away. But we had feet of it, right? So it should last you through the weekend if you want to go check it out. Low 60s for your highs for inland valleys, upper 50s for most of our coastline. And I want to show you what we can expect. Again, clear conditions for most of the day today. Here we are, taking you to Saturday around 11, 12 o'clock. Marine layer comes in, and the marine layer is pretty stubborn, as we know. It's going to hang on Saturday into Sunday. You saw little speckles of green right there, really minimal drizzle, marine layer kind of activity, mainly because there's another storm. Now, unfortunately, this is going to bring more rain and snow to our friends up in Northern California and Central California. So the Tahoe region got 140 inches of snow this week. Now they're going to get another several inches, several feet piling up there. For us, we're going to see the clouds from that system. That's all we're going to get, maybe that marine layer drizzle, and then things warm up. Look at that. By the end of the week, sunshine 70s, nearing 70 for Thursday and Friday for inland valleys. The mountains, as I mentioned, will stay cold. A quick check of traffic and really
Time of year, folks. Visitors flocking to the flower fields in Carlsbad. Look at all the color.
I wish we could smell all of this. Yeah, we had a whole lot of rain, obviously. A little bit of sunshine. So the beauty is in full bloom. CBS 8's Brian White spent the day soaking it all in.
Melted a little bit. Looks like the sun's out there now.
Melted a little. Laguna Mountain Lodge, this is the view, but that's a pretty decent pile of snow that you see. And there's the road right there where you'll notice they've been plowing, they've been clearing so people can access it. So that same system that brought us the over 2 to 3 feet of snow in San Diego for our mountains now has moved along, unfortunately causing dangerous conditions in Texas, Oklahoma, and it's moving pretty rapidly across much of the state. So this big system here, that's what we were dealt with. And now you'll notice right there this line of severe weather. Yeah, likely some twisters in the mix of that as it moves right through Mississippi into Tennessee. And then further up in the Midwest, you'll notice that heavy rainfall. So unfortunately, flash flooding, tornado watches all in effect because of it. Winter storm warning for places like Michigan, up in New York, Massachusetts. Yeah, they're getting some snow from that system that we initially got. For us, though, it has left us. And so we've been clear. We saw the sun yesterday. Saturday. Overnight conditions definitely got cold. Frost advisory in effect through 8 a.m. We got another hour, 20 minutes or so of that. 44 degrees right now for downtown San Diego. Inland, you'll notice now that the sun's up, this is the coldest time of the day. So 31 in Ramona, 35 in Escondido, 37 in Poway. Over the next couple hours, then we'll start to see that warm up. Not too warm for today. I will say our average afternoon highs are still going to be below normal, 5 to 10 degrees below normal. Looking at that 24-hour temperature change, 2 to 3 degrees warmer this morning. This afternoon will feel very similar to yesterday. So just dress accordingly. If you were comfortable yesterday, do that again. 59 in IB, 59 in Chula Vista, 60 in National City and La Mesa, 64 in Santee, El Cajon, 64 as well. So upper 50s, low 60s for most of you. Palomar Mountain at 46. We'll start to see some of that snow melting a little bit, but it's still going to stick around through the weekend. So not to worry. If you have time to get there this weekend, it should be pretty nice for that. We are looking at the next storm system. You'll notice this pretty heavy rain and snow again, but thankfully for us in San Diego, we're just going to get the marine layer clouds from it. So we're not going to see a big rainmaker. In fact, our rain chances limited to just that weak drizzle that the marine layer brings. So that's why you'll notice a few percentage right there along the coast. That's mainly where you'll see it. The rain cloud forecast model shows clear skies for the Friday, and then here you are looking at Saturday around noon. Look at that timestamp there. That's when the clouds will start to roll in, associated with the bigger storm that's way up to the north of us. Here's a quick check of that 8-day. After this weekend, Monday, Tuesday, still lingering clouds, temperatures not changing much. Then we have ridging, and that means warmer weather. So by Thursday, Friday, sunshine, some low 70s expected for inland areas. We haven't had a chance to say that for quite some time. Here's what's going on in other traffic. Recent storms, they've been pretty positive when it comes to our drought. So you'll notice here, this is our latest U.S. drought monitor. We get an updated version every Thursday morning, and it does show improvement. The yellows, the lighter browns, and the oranges, abnormal to moderate, some areas of severe drought. But we are now out of the extreme and exceptional drought, which is what we saw our state covered in for several months last year. This year has certainly been helpful when it comes to our surface water levels. That's basically what this drought monitor is measuring. Let's show you what's going on. I do want to show you the drought monitor, but this right now, such a beautiful view. Mission Bay, as you see, so calm. We got a couple ducks in the water. It's cool, so may not be the best time to be outdoors necessarily. We'll just show you how beautiful it looks. I mean, very tempting to get near the water at least. Go for a jog this morning or this afternoon. It'll feel a lot more comfortable later. So here's that drought monitor. And this, I want to zoom into San Diego. Our region does show we still have this yellow and this moderate range. So dry to moderate drought conditions for San Diego. So we have not seen that much improvement. We're out of the drought to the north. LA County beaches all the way up to Monterey Bay, and then part of the Sierra Nevada mountain range, we are out of the drought. But for us, still under these conditions, because again, we need that rainfall to come over a prolonged period of time so we could store it. If not, it just runs right off into the ocean, as we know. So this morning, as we wake up to the chill in the air, yeah, there's a frost advisory. Some of you may have a little frost forming on your windshield, on the grass or your plants. 32 degrees in Ramona, 35 Escondido, 42 in Chula Vista, 46 for downtown San Diego. We're warmer this morning than we were yesterday, 2 to 3 degrees. Maybe a little noticeable depending on how chilly you were yesterday. Might find a little bit of warming in that. Looking at the next 12 hours, and we are going to see clear conditions all day. The sun will be shining, upper 50s by 1 o'clock. We'll stay right there through about 5 p.m. Then, of course, the sun sets and it's cool all over again. So looking at your neighborhood here, Coronado 60 degrees, Imperial Beach you'll be at 59. Not much different depending on the coast or inland. 60 in San Ysidro, same with La Mesa, a little bit warmer in Santee and El Cajon, but La Jolla you'll be at 55, 57 Encinitas and Marcos 60 degrees, 62 in Escondido. So mainly we're below average, 5 to 10 degrees for today, and we'll stay this way over the course of the next at least 3 to 4 days. What we're going to notice that's changing would be more cloud coverage. The marine layer is back, and it's because of this next storm system. You see that? That's another system pummeling part of California and the Pacific Northwest. The rain and snow that we're going to see up in the Tahoe area added on top of the 140 inches that they just saw. So unfortunately for a lot of people, they're stuck there, and they'll have to stay there for another few days before that moves along. long. Ridging will then take its place. By next week, Thursday, Friday, I'll show you the warm up that we'll get. The chance of rain that you see right here, that's just the marine layer drizzle that we tend to see on the weekend because of our clouds that are coming through. And then as far as your 8-day goes, let's go to that real quick here, and you'll see temperatures staying consistent. We don't warm up until Thursday, Friday, so it does take a little bit of time. But in a week from now, we could see sunshine and 70-degree weather. Here's a quick check of traffic, and for now, it looks like things are really mild, calm outside. Not that many cars joining you if you're headed out on this Friday morning. No reports of any crashes, as you see, just a little bit of backup, which is pretty typical on the 805 going northbound.
All right.
Across San Diego right now. Let's get right to our frost advisory because it's in effect for another about 33 minutes. It expires at 8 o'clock. It is freezing in Ramona, 37 Escondido, 40 Poway. The sun is slowly warming us up a little bit. We are a little bit warmer than yesterday by a couple degrees. Here's where we're headed on this Friday. Sunshine, upper 50s to low 60s for this afternoon. So it will feel pretty similar to what we had yesterday. A change is coming, another storm headed to California. For San Diego, though, it's going to bring us cloud coverage. The marine layer, that'll be back with that onshore flow. Could bring us a little bit of drizzle Saturday night into Sunday morning, Monday morning as well.
Packed mountains, roads, which we're seeing in our county still in some places.
We are still seeing snow in our mountains. This is a very clear shot from downtown San Diego where we don't have clouds in the way, messing with our views. It is gorgeous. I know it's a little cold, but it certainly looks pretty. Let's take you from the bay to the mountains now. Here's Laguna Observatory, and you'll notice there's still snow on the ground. Yeah, we're still noticing this on many of our mountain cameras. We did get about 22, 26 inches of snow for Laguna Observatory area. Mount Laguna getting a little more at the summit there, as you see, but that's going to last through the weekend most likely. So you'll still have some time to get out there and go sledding if you want. Build a snowman with the family. Here's our view from Mount Soledad as well. So many gorgeous angles of San Diego at this hour because of how clear it is. So your weather headlines today, a frosty start. We're warming up a little bit later today, about 60 degrees. So it'll be similar to yesterday, maybe 1 or 2 degrees warmer. Then things change this weekend. Another storm is coming towards California, not bringing us rain, but it will bring us the marine layer, onshore flow, little weak drizzle coming in with that. Then we'll warm up by the end of next week. So a week from now, we could be talking about sunshine and 70s. For now, we have this frost advisory for another 20 minutes. So our temperatures are warming up. They're improving, but still near freezing in some spots. And there's this freeze warning for much of our farmland, Fresno area, Central California, for another hour 20 there. So as far as our temperatures in San Diego, 32 Ramona. That seems to be our colder spot. Campo as well, 32. 41 in Alpine now, 40 in El Cajon. You're getting a little warmer now, but still the 40s. Likely need a jacket for that, of course. We are a bit warmer than yesterday, 24-hour change showing 2 to 3 degree difference. But over the next 12 hours, today's going to feel pretty much the same. So whatever you had on yesterday, if that was comfortable, do it again. Upper 50s here by 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon. 60 degrees will be kind of the warmer number that we're going to see in some spots, which is still 5 to 10 degrees below average. We're not going to get to above average conditions until end of next week. So 59 in Chula Vista, 60 National City. If you are in Santee and El Cajon, it's a little warmer. Not a huge noticeable change though. 64 for you. 60 in San Marcos, 57 in Encinitas, 59 in Oceanside, 60 in Fallbrook. Let's go to the mountains. Julian at 50, 48 for Mount Laguna, and then deserts upper 60s. The clear skies all throughout the day today. We don't expect to see the cloud coverage, in fact, until probably tomorrow around lunchtime. So you'll notice this rain cloud forecast model here around noon, showing the marine layer slowly working its way into town. You see that green? It's not going to be measurable rain, just a little drizzle. Some of that may not even hit the ground. There's just moisture in the clouds. Sunday morning, cloudier kind of day. Yeah, we'll probably see clouds all day on Sunday. Same with Monday, extending into Tuesday. And it's mainly because of this storm. This is a big one. It's brewing right now, way up by Canada. But by tomorrow, it'll sweep right into California. So look at all the snow they're expecting again in the Sierra Nevada mountain range. Places that have seen feet and feet of snow pile up. There's more coming. The rain, unfortunately, for all these areas that have been flooded, there's also more coming. For us in San Diego, though, it is just going to graze to the north of us. So we are in the clear. Like I mentioned, marine layer. That's all we're going to notice all the way through Tuesday. And then you'll notice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it is warmer. So let's go. Look how beautiful this is. It looks really calm and nice along the bay, matching the blue skies right there. Our temperatures, yeah, they're a little bit cool to start things off. That's why that frost advisory was issued. So let's get to our temperatures and show you. Actually, Mount Laguna, that snow is still hanging on. This weekend might be a good time to go check it out because, of course, calmer conditions. 42 in Poway right now, 41 in El Cajon. We're a little bit warmer than yesterday at this time, but over the next few hours, we'll be inching our way up to the upper 50s, low 60s. This weekend, you ready for the marine layer? That's expected to come back. A slight drizzle in the air for your Sunday, Monday. Then we do warm up by next week, Thursday, Friday. Side investigation underway after an inmate in San Diego's Central Jail was found dead last year. We got newly released details now from the report by the medical examiner, who says his death can be blamed on insufficient care by jail. Take a look at this drought monitor. That's the area of what you see. This would be the Sierra Nevada mountain range right by Lake Tahoe right there. The foothills out of a drought, along with the coastline right here through parts of Central California. So you'll notice the recent storms, they did shift our drought conditions in a positive way. This map reflects the surface water. The female who transferred her eggs to that male is somewhere in here. Yeah, the one, she had a liking to him and she found a good guy.
By the way, you just found this out like 5 minutes ago in your email. They let you know about it and you turned it around. You were so excited to deliver this news.
Big breaking news around here, Eric.
Yes, it is.
And we do appreciate.
It's actually small breaking news, very small.
Very small. You're right. Less than an inch breaking news. But we appreciate the Birch Aquarium for keeping us up to date because we've been covering so much of this. You can see one sea dragon right there. So these are the bigger ones that viewers can come, go to the Birch Aquarium, you'll see them. But the male does need to stay kind of away from the public for now. That team in Birch is so excited because it's so rare to have this happen at aquariums. Only a handful of aquariums have ever seen this happening. Usually, obviously, it happens in the ocean. They live in southern Australia, and that's where they obviously thrive and do really well. So it's awesome. The aquarium, this exhibit, big enough that the transfer of eggs happened, and that male sea dragon now can be hopefully a proud papa. That's how he should be feeling. It's quite an accomplishment, I will say. All right, let's talk now about your forecast. I know I can totally talk about sea dragons for the next hour, but I won't. Here's a look right now at what we're seeing for our snow. Mount Laguna, if you've been curious about going out there to check out the snow, well, I will say there's still plenty left. I think you can sled on some of this, right? It's cold enough up in our mountains. We may see some melting today, but through the weekend, you know, we had over 2 feet, so we should be okay as far as visiting Mount Laguna. Palomar got a lot of snow as well. Right now, as you see, temperatures are cool in the 40s, and you'll notice it's a little bit warmer than yesterday when you step outside. We're on our way to the upper 50s, low 60s for this afternoon with all that sunshine. 62 degrees in Escondido, 60 in Poway, 60 La Mesa, 59 in Chula Vista, 50 in Julian. And here's a look at the rain cloud forecast model. Clear today. Tomorrow around noon, you'll start to notice a few clouds entering the mix. Saturday night into Sunday morning, yeah, the marine layer is back. That's what that is. Not another storm system for San Diego, don't worry. But there is more coming to Washington, Oregon, Northern California. This is a pretty decent sized storm that's yet again bringing more rain and mountain snow to our state. So that's all it's going to do for San Diego is just increase our clouds. We're staying cool. We will warm up by the end of the week. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, more sun, upper 60s, even low 70s expected. And the mountains staying pretty chilly in the 40s, which is why it could be a decent time to go pay the snow a visit. Eric? But I mean, really pretty for this Friday morning. Look at that. You see the sun shining, the palm trees out. People are out going for their morning walk. I can see why. Of course, very alluring to be outside. Temperatures are in the 40s, although downtown you just bumped up to 51 degrees. That frost advisory is now over, and we're headed into the upper 50s to low 60s for this afternoon. And get used to these temperatures. We're really going to stay right around here through the weekend, even into early Monday, Tuesday. What's going to change this weekend. Expect more cloud coverage. That marine layer will come back as a storm system now is set to pummel Northern California. For us in San Diego, just morning drizzle. That's what we'll get. After that, we do warm up by the end of next.
For 111 years, apparently now.
The generations that have experienced such a thing. All right, let's talk about your forecast this morning. So here you have people going for that jog. That's making me feel a little guilty watching this, especially since I'm about to eat an Oreo bundt cake. But look at this dog having a blast. This is a fun sight to see this morning. Pacific Beach, right by the Pacific Beach Terrace Hotel. The boardwalk obviously busy, so are the beaches. And it's because obviously people have been cooped up. I mean, it is cold, but you can still head out there and enjoy the sunshine this morning. Mount Laguna, here we are checking in on all of these mountain cameras because I want to see if there's still snow. Obviously, there's plenty still left. You can build a snowman. Obviously, you can also go sledding. This weekend might be good because we're going to have calmer conditions. You don't have to worry about a storm getting in the way and just go up and enjoy our mountain communities or our coast. It's all going to be all right. 51 degrees right now for downtown San Diego, 41 in Ramona. 49 Poway. We're still below average. So for this afternoon, we're only going to get to the upper 50s. So here's your playground forecast. Yeah, chilly to start. Upper 50s still kind of cool. And then staying in the 50s for later on today. If you'd rather go hiking, Mount Woodson, Potato Chip Rock area, by about 1 o'clock, upper 50s with sunshine. So yeah, it's going to look beautiful. I mean, I think you're going to see some really impressive sights all around town. But just know, upper 60s may be chilly for some people. Especially if you're in the shade. I noticed it's really brisk in the shady locations as opposed to the sun. Upper 50s along Encinitas, Carlsbad, our North County beaches, staying again below average. 48 Mount Laguna, upper 60s for Borrego, Ocotillo. Here's a look at our cloud coverage. None for today. We're in the clear. But tomorrow around noon, we'll start to see some clouds rolling through. Fairly light though. And then by tomorrow night into Sunday, the marine layer thickens up a bit. We get some drizzle with that. Now, all we're going to see is a little bit of marine layer, light morning drizzle, but compared to what's happening to the north, obviously that's a lot more. It's a big storm system again coming to California. So unfortunately, more rain and snow for the Bay Area, Sacramento, Tahoe region, and then here in San Diego, because we're so far south, we just get some clouds. It's staying cool though, well into Tuesday. Then you see the slight warm up. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, upper 60s to low 70s. That should be pretty nice. A little weak ridge is going to build for the end of next week. Here's a check of traffic. I'm glad you're here because, yeah, camp is calling. We see it on the sign.
Right.
And for a lot of people, I mean, we just got done with all these winter storms. I'm not thinking about summer, but we should, right?
We should, and it's hotter camp.
Wow.
So we have a
Big population, so many kids here.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us about the age ranges. What age can kids start going? How old can they be in? Okay.
And those are all. And for the kids who might feel like they're a little too old for your traditional soccer camp, around 13 to 15, we have a leader in training program, which is kind of like a junior camp.
Just for YMCA members, we have like 10 seconds. How can everyone take part in these?
Yes, time, so you're not stuck with your cart full and you can't get in there.
Okay, get it in advance. Thank you. A bit of a popular spot. We've seen a lot of people jogging, even going out in the water. The cold is not scaring them, it looks like. Let's take you to the mountains now because we have it all in San Diego. Mount Laguna still showing. We do have some snow hanging on. Hasn't all quite melted yet. We had plenty of it. 53 degrees for downtown San Diego right now. You're at 50 in Ramona, 46 in Escondido. We're warming up, but not by much. Upper 50s to low 60s. That's your afternoon high. That's going to stick around for the next 3 to 4 days. There is a storm system pummeling its way to California, but you'll notice all it's going to bring us some cloud coverage into Tuesday before we warm up. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back here at 11. We have brought you stories about those loud booms. You may have heard them or felt them around San Diego. Camp Pendleton could not confirm it was them, but did say they have live fire training going on now, and it's happening around the clock, day and night. The base says explosions can be heard up to 50 miles away, but an aerospace engineer believes the culprit is likely a supersonic boom from an aircraft. They're traveling faster than the speed of sound. Today, disgraced attorney Alex Murdaugh has been sentenced now to life in prison without parole.
the sentencing.
Weedy sea dragon that obviously makes them kind of camouflage in their terrain here. So they live usually on seabeds in the kelp forest. So you'll notice that's a big part of this exhibit here. And I will say this exhibit is big enough that it allowed for this amazing incident to happen. A female was able to transfer her eggs onto a male's tail, and then the male was able to hatch all those eggs. So 70, that's how many he was carrying. So it's exciting to see. Definitely something you can go check out at Birch Aquarium. Always fun. They're fascinating. You can stand in front of this for hours looking at these sea dragons. Let's talk now about your forecast. Oh, thank you, Eric. Eric is the man. He's got the clicker ready for me and everything. Thank you for finding that. I was worried there for a minute. Where did it go? Okay, let's take you now to the mountains. As you see right here, we do have some snow here at the tippy top of Mount Laguna. So it hasn't completely melted away yet. I mean, we got over 2 feet of snow, but obviously each afternoon temperatures are above freezing. So we've noticed more of that melting happening. It should still be there this weekend if you wanted to go check it out. At least little patches of it, kind of like what we just saw. Mount Soledad's view looking towards the south. There's Mission Bay. You see the jetty way over there. It is a gorgeous day across San Diego. So your weather headlines today, a little bit warmer this afternoon compared to yesterday. The marine layer is back. Onshore flow is back this weekend and into early next week. And then next week, Thursday, Friday especially, just wait for a warm up. For now, we have clear conditions, as you can tell. Let me take you, though, where that storm is. It brought us so much wet weather and now so much severe weather as well for much of the country. So we showed you video of what happened in Texas with the tornadoes. Well, this line of severe weather, whenever you see these kind of red straight lines here, typically there are twisters in that causing those damaging winds. You're also seeing that a lot here through St. Louis into Chicago, Cincinnati, Cleveland, then heading up into New York, Boston. There are winter storm warnings, tornado watches, all still going on. Again, that's from the system that we were dealt with earlier just a couple of days ago. Right now, 56 degrees in Encinitas, 57 Del Mar, 58 for downtown San Diego. And here's what you can expect for the weekend. For this weekend, temperatures will not be changing much, but we will have more clouds. Marine layer coming through, bringing us that chance of drizzle. It's all because of a storm that's way up north, which I'll show you in a little bit here in our next forecast. And you'll see the amount of rain and snow that's headed again to California, but it is going to be to the north of us. By the end of next week, as I mentioned, sunshine. We're warming up into the low 70s, believe it or not. Eric, we have not said that for many, many weeks here. I'll send it back to you. Joining you while you're out there scoring the runs, the goals. Our producer, Michaela, going to play soccer on Sunday. She's got this. It's going to be good weather for you. The marine layer will be back for the weekend. That's the change you'll notice compared to today, where we've had no cloud coverage. It's been really nice, beautiful conditions, sunshine. It is a little cool, but still, I mean, we're not talking about severe rain or snow in San Diego. Where it is happening, let's take you way up north. Look at Washington, parts of Oregon right here. This is the very beginning of another big low that's working its way from Canada. It's going to sweep on in to California. So I'll show you that in a moment. For now, though, San Diego sitting pretty. 59 in Poway, 59 in El Cajon, 58 for you in La Mesa. Downtown San Diego at 58, 56 in Chula Vista. So a lot of mid to upper 50s right now. The mountains are in the 40s, 1 to 2 degrees warmer compared to yesterday at this time. So not a significant warm up. You probably don't feel the difference really, but what you'll start to notice is, especially by tomorrow around this time, clouds will come through. These are our marine layer clouds. Yeah, we haven't seen this in a while because we keep talking about storm after storm coming through. Well, the clouds will enter, onshore flow will also enter, and you'll see a little drizzle. I know there's a bit of green that's showing up here and there. Most of that moisture stays in the clouds. That's just the nature of our marine layer. It might cause a few little tiny drops, but nothing measurable. So don't worry, this is not a rainmaker. This is just the marine layer. And yeah, it's coming through mainly Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning. You'll wake up to it throughout the day. Sunday, expect some clouds, even into Monday and Tuesday. Now let's track this next system that I was talking about. So you see all of this rain and more snow. Unfortunately, this is all headed right for areas that have been pounded by storm after storm. Tahoe, for example, 140 inches of snow. That's what they saw just from this last one. And now add another couple feet onto this. So it's another cold system, really dreary. A lot of people stuck up in these mountain areas. The roads are too dangerous to even leave, but they're going to be stuck stuck for a little bit longer, unfortunately, because we're going to see that continue. It's going to hover over there until about Monday. Then you'll see it move along, and as it moves along, that allows for this ridge to build. We're not talking a huge ridge of high pressure, but it's enough to warm us up. So you'll notice rain chances for us in San Diego really minimal. This again would be just your marine layer clouds, so just that light drizzle. After that, we are dry, and we're going to just see a few clouds hanging, and the warm up won't get here until that ridging starts to build. So you'll notice the 50s through Monday, maybe even into Tuesday, but then by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, up we go. We'll get to see some 70s perhaps, even for the coast and inland areas. So we do have to wait a good week for this, but at least we do have a warm up in store. Eric. Past couple weeks, we've brought you stories about these loud booms. Many of you have heard them, you've felt them all around San Diego, no matter where you live. So Camp Pendleton could not confirm that it was in fact them, but they did say they have live fire training happening around the clock, day and night. So the base says these explosions, they can be heard up to 50 miles away. But we're working for you to try to figure out what all of this is. An aerospace engineer believes the culprit is likely a supersonic boom from an aircraft traveling faster than the speed of sound. It was hard to find things to do with them when you're cooped up for so long. Last Saturday especially, we were all stuck in the house. What are we going to do now? So this weekend, enjoy it. Yeah, no rain. What we're going to see, more clouds coming through, mainly on Sunday. Saturday for most of the day, it looks pretty nice and sunny. Look at the sun shining over San Miguel. You can see the ocean right there, so that's pretty cool, from the mountains to the beaches. Now, overall, our satellite imagery showing clear conditions. I do want to point out, though, this storm that's way up here. So it's still in its early stages right now, reaching Washington and Oregon. It's still brewing way up further north. But as it heads on further south, by this Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, northern and central California, they're going to get hit hard again with rain and snow. Here in San Diego, we are south enough that what we're going to see is just the increase in onshore flow and marine layer clouds. Right now, enjoy the sun. You're in the 60s for Poway and El Cajon, 58 La Mesa, 59 downtown, slightly warmer in some spots compared to yesterday. 5 degrees warmer in El Cajon right now. Alpine, you're 6 degrees warmer. So here's a look at the cloud coverage for today, non-existent. Tomorrow afternoon, little bits coming through, and you'll notice just the little green right there. Don't worry, that's not rain. It's just going to be that moisture in the marine layer that we typically see, especially Sunday. This looks like a cloudier kind of day. Monday as well, another day of that marine layer in the morning with onshore flow that will be arriving, and it's mainly all because of the wind direction pushing from the west to the east, all associated with this big storm again that's going to be pummeling much of our state. So unfortunately for our friends up in Northern California, Central California, more rain, more snow. Yeah, all the people that unfortunately were stuck in the road conditions, the icy, snowy conditions, well, they're going to continue to have to stay and hunker down up there because it's not going to be safe until Wednesday, Thursday, when that storm finally passes. We'll notice the ridging take its place, and when we get that ridging, yay, that means sunshine, warmer weather. So today, through the next several days, in fact, will be below average, sitting right around the mid to upper 50s, close to 60 through Monday, Tuesday, but then check out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I know it's very far ahead, but let's look that direction because you'll see the potential of sunshine and 70s headed our way. Heather?